Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this webinar that we're doing as an update webinar. I'm pretty excited today to bring some new developments, to bring you some new news, to talk about our progress that we've had basically over the past couple of months regarding two things. So as you know, on one side there is the main dApp, the Chronos dApp, that we're going to go and get to as well. But in the meantime, I want to talk about a project that we have decided to take on, that we have decided to sponsor, and that we've also decided to put resources on because it does support temporal innovation in the Ethereum space. And it's one that's called the Ethereum Alarm Clock that you may have heard of. And if you haven't heard of the Ethereum Alarm Clock yet, and let me see, let me look as well. Who's heard me talk about the Ethereum Alarm Clock? Please put a 1 in there, and if you haven't, please put a 0 in the chat, just so that we know. I'm going to also link everyone here to the main website, just so everyone has it. It's pretty exciting because it's something right now that unfortunately is not possible. And you would think that it would be possible for our developers on here. Of course, you know this is probably common knowledge. For people that aren't as technical, you start realizing that Ethereum doesn't have these contract function calls that you can schedule, and the Ethereum Alarm Clock allows you to do that, facilitates scheduling function calls for a specified block in the future, function calls that can be also scheduled to be executed against a contract, things of that nature. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but if you want to get much deeper, and if you're a developer, and give me a D in there into the question box if you are a developer. If you are, then I recommend checking this out right here, which is going to give you a lot of background knowledge. As you can see, go through the architecture, go through execution, go through everything. Now, so we decided to because we love the ideas behind the Ethereum Alarm Clock and saw the far-reaching potential, we wanted to support it. And when we first started discussing this with Piper, he hadn't been as actively working on it, and so we decided to get some additional team members and go ahead and support it. So right here, if you check out this article, and give me a quick 3 into the question box if you've seen this article. And I know I did post it to Slack before, but I just want to double check. Give me a quick 3 and give me a no if you haven't, just so I know on here, and I'm going to send it out to everyone. Regarding beta, which is pretty cool because it is some pretty significant progress that we've made. Also, we have right here in GitHub, we also have basically this repo now that is going to be around specifically around the Ethereum Alarm Clock. And the other thing is, you can, if you are a developer, then you can potentially as well contribute there. There's a lot of cool things that can be done. So please do check that out for any of our developers. We always love support. It means a lot when we have a lot of engagement. So I know, for example, Kenny from the community, I know you're a developer, so if you want to check this out, go ahead, go into it. Please do, would be fantastic, and we will definitely kind of check it out as well. Any significant and serious contributions. Now, that being said, what I want to do now is I want to introduce to you our newest team member, Peter, and I'll let him introduce himself. I'm really excited, and no, on one hand excited and honored that Peter has decided to join the team, because the blockbuster work ethic, knowledge, and vision that he is going to bring to the product side is just unparalleled. And I'm really excited for Peter to join on the development side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it off. Peter, I would like you, if you could quickly introduce yourself to the audience, then that would be fantastic. And then what we can do is maybe I'll even ask you a question or two about some of the ideas that you have, just so that the community can become familiar with you and your work.
Okay, guys. Hey, thank you, Eric, for an introduction. So, hello, guys. My name is Peter, and I'm raised and born in Poland. My technical background is a computer science. I started working on Ethereum-based protocols in 2016. I also a co-founder of a influencer and the personal tokens idea. You can check them in the web. Google them. Basically, in the personal tokens, I was busy designing, working on attention-based tokens and incentive-based protocols. We were working on just a protocol that will be able to incentivize and sponsorship, the content creators, of influencers, YouTubers, and so on and so forth. Also, my experience was greatly improved by participating in a couple of the startups and products as an ICO advisor, and also as a protocol advisor for some of them. So I joined ChronoLogic earlier this month and took a role of a product owner and a Solidity developer. And yes, my focus will be on the Chronos platform, obviously, as well as the Ethereum alarm clock. And here especially, I will be busy on integration and ideas how we can bring those two things together as a whole. Yes, and also started working just to understand more and bring new innovations into the proof of time protocols. I'm currently working on a blog post on a kind of incentivized protocol for based on the proof of time.
And so, Peter, maybe you can tell us, because I had a very interesting conversation that we had the other day, and just want to give a sneak peek to everyone regarding some of the internal conversations that we had, and I know you brought me an idea that I thought I found fascinating. Maybe you can jump into it just quickly to give everyone kind of a background regarding also how you're thinking about things, and potentially some of the additional developments that might happen down the road.
Okay, definitely, yes. So when you took at the timings idea and the day token, so it is a protocol that is creating additional tokens based on an equation or on a curve. And this is like putting new supply of the tokens. But if you look at this on a different side, then you can actually build a protocol based on the timings, but in a kind of inverted way, meaning that at the beginning of time or some period or point in time, you have like a total supply, and then you start burning those tokens or removing them from the supply. So that's like inverted timing, and you can actually imagine this as an incentive-based protocol, just to, for instance, assure that some sort of accuracy will be achieved. Meaning that if you execute something at the closest or the best possible spot, you will get the biggest reward, and the more you deviate from the target, the incentive is just decreasing. So that's just a sneak peek of things that we are going to work on and build with a development team.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Hopefully that wasn't too abstract for for everyone on here. But the main thing that I've always been looking at and cognizant of is technologies that are actually usable, very usable in real life, and do help um, progress the community forward. But let's go ahead, Peter. Thank you so much. If other people have questions, maybe you can answer them in the question box. In the meantime, I'm going to go into alpha. And so we've went through this already before once, but I'm going to have a different session today. Let me see. Just want to double check. Give me a quick Y into the give me a quick Y into the question box if you're in front of your computer, and if you have MetaMask open, because what I want to do is I want people to experience our alpha on this webinar. That's very important for me, because I want to make sure that you understand every single step of it, and you get very engaged into it, because that's the whole point, and you understand the granular details rather than just high level looking at what we're doing, because then you'll see how everything happens. Okay, so give me a quick yes to every. I want to get a couple more yeses, because I know there's about 50 people here, so I want to make sure that people are following along, because it also does help us get then feedback that we can implement, and we can take the alpha version to the next level, so that we can continually start working on it. So please give me a Y in there into the question box, and if you have MetaMask open as well. In case you don't know what MetaMask is, MetaMask, you can download it right here, metamask.io. And this is going to be important, and it's going to be critical. You need to have MetaMask open in front of you in order to be able to experience and participate in this. Okay, so please go ahead and do that. And then the first thing that we're going to do is up here on the right-hand corner, you see MetaMask. I'm going to go ahead and click it. And rather than main network, I'm going to click and select the Ropsten test network. Remember, this is alpha, so it's still on Ropsten. It's not on the main Ethereum network. If it was out of alpha, if it was out of the test net, then that's when it's going to migrate, and we're going to have it not just there, but we're gonna be able to use it there. Okay, so the second thing that I want to do is go ahead and then click OK. Okay, you're connected to Ropsten testnet, and you can go ahead, and it's going to tell you maybe that you have an insufficient balance. And give me a quick one if you're here, if it tells you that you have an insufficient balance. Okay, give me a quick one, and then just press OK. Okay, and then once you press OK, it's going to say get testnet tokens. Okay, get testnet tokens. And hopefully you do have some. Hopefully you do have some Ropsten Ether. Let me go ahead and let me also make sure that Thiago, I know you wrote a few things about that, in case people don't have any of those any of that Ropsten Ether, and maybe you could put it into the chat box so that you can help people out. Or if not, if you potentially go ahead and we can get people set up with it. And right here you have kind of Ropsten test faucet, and then it's going to take you to the faucet, and then you can go ahead and request 1 Ether from the faucet. Okay, and that's going to be that's going to be how you're going to be able to do it. Okay, so let me know if that makes sense. And once you do, you can see the transactions here as well. Okay, and let me go ahead. Let me check now. Let's go ahead. And you could see that now I have 1 Ether. Okay. I hope that made sense. Let me just double check. Did that make sense, or did I go too fast there? Okay. Basically, what you do is it's going to give you, once you select this, there's going to be an option there. Now I have Ether, so it's not going to show me, but it says to buy Ether. So you click on buy Ether, you go, you get it, and that's it. And then you're going to have Ether in your account. Again, this is fake Ether, right? It's Robston Ether. Okay, but why is it important? It's important because you won't have any money, you won't have any Ether for gas if you don't have any Robston Ether. So even in the Robston testnet, you still need Ether. Okay, so then you can press start. Then you can press get testnet tokens. You go and hit submit. Okay, and once you do that, okay, you're gonna press OK, and then it should go ahead, and it might take a little bit, but then you're gonna be able in a few seconds, hopefully. You'll then have the tokens that are going to allow you to start using Alpha. All right, so just give me a quick one into the question box if you're following along. If everything is okay, I want to just do a quick check-in. Again, I know some people are a little more advanced, some people are a little less advanced, but hopefully you're going to learn quite a bit today, and that's the goal, and to show you the progress as well. Okay, so again, you need to have the testnet tokens, and then once you have that, you should be able to do this. Okay. Okay. Or potentially it might happen that the faucet is going to be empty, which is another unfortunate possibility of too many people on this webinar. If that's the case, then you're just going to kind of have to follow along for now. And I'm going to actually switch to one of my other accounts that already has some of these tokens so that I can show you how this works. Okay. Okay. So I'll press OK, and then this is what should happen. You should be able to press OK. Okay, and then you press submit. Okay, you press submit, and it says token release status, and that's how it's going to work. Okay, so let's go ahead and yeah, unfortunately, let me go ahead and let me see this. All right, now. Okay, let's go ahead and let's jump through this. Additionally, let me see what else I can do. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm just messaging. All right. So let's go ahead. Let me start walking you through this so that you could see how all of this works. In case you don't, in case you don't have the tokens because the faucet is empty because too many people have been trying to use it. Trying to get the team on it as well to see if there's anything that we can do about it, and if not, then you could kind of follow along and then potentially do it after, and then we'll give you some more guidance with that. But you're gonna go here and you're gonna go and you're gonna and start creating your token. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, the first thing is, let's put a token name, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it, and I did this last time. It was a similar name that I chose. It's the second token, And let's put SND as the symbol. But I'm gonna try to do something slightly more interesting that's gonna allow you to see this in a faster fashion. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show you the growth and how these timings really work. But usually you have to wait a whole day in the regular scenario in the regular day ecosystem. But now I'm going to go ahead and minimize it so that it's only going to be a couple seconds. All right. So first of all, the minting power, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put that at let's do it at 2%, and then let's put the max at 3%. And this is the range from what you want those to be. And if you want it to be constant, then you would just do, for example, 3 and 3. Okay, if you want everyone to have a constant minting power, and this is the amount of additional tokens that your timing gets every single period. Okay, so halving is going to be 60, and then the minting period in seconds. I'm going to make that. Let me go ahead and make that 30 seconds. So these minting periods are going to be very, very short. Okay, it's going to be very, very short. And the reason is, okay, then the reason is because this way we can illustrate it much faster as well. So let me go ahead, let me select continue. Max addresses, I'm going to do 10. Starting ID for timing, number of team timings, let's only do 1. Team lockup period in seconds. Again, this has to be in seconds, so I'm just going to put a large number there. It's going to be locked up for a very long time. Post-release, max addresses. Let's go ahead and let's put 0 there. Minimum balance to transfer. Let's put that at 360. Okay. And then what we will do is now we can select continue. Okay. And then once we do that, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and let's deploy this. All right. Let me know. And this is pretty quick. The next thing you see right here, right, that you can go ahead and deploy it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to select deploy, and it's going to start deploying. Okay. And then it is going to give you this, that gas limit says dangerously high, but that's fine. Select submit. Okay. And now we just wait. Okay. Now we're just going to wait. So let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's wait. Let's await the mining, and we will see then the transaction. We see the transaction hash, and check this out. This is live, so you can check out right here. I'm going to send it out to everyone on here. This transaction hash, so that you can go ahead and we can wait until it mines. Now, in the meantime, can everyone go ahead and give me your Ether address? I need basically the first Ether addresses that I get is those are the people that I'm going to assign these tokens to. So, and remember, they're on Ropsten. Hopefully on MetaMask, you can you made sure as well that it is that you are in Ropsten, but go ahead and please give me your Ether addresses. Okay, now it says kindly accept ownership of your new tokens. I'm gonna press OK, and it's gonna give me MetaMask notification. I'm gonna hit submit, and then I'm gonna make sure that token ownership is accepted. Okay, and then what do? Let's start allocating these. Okay. Let's start allocating these. Now, when I start allocating them, let's get Stan, you are the first one that gave me your Ether address. So I'm going to go put this in receiver's address. I'm going to give you Stan. Let's give you, let's make it one ETH, equals 6,000 of these. So let's say you put in 5, then that would be 30,000 tokens. This ETH value is just kind of a placeholder. So just FYI, and you're going to have time and ID 1, and I'm going to select allocate. Okay. And then I'm going to click submit. I'm going to press OK. And then under transaction history, it's going to show up there in a few seconds. Neil, you're next. I'm going to go ahead, put your address in here, and I'm going to give you, let's do it 1 ETH worth, which is 6,000 tokens that you're going to have, SND tokens, and you're going to have them in your address, which is going to be pretty cool. Time and ID 2. Who else wants additional tokens that are being created right now? And the other thing is this whole dApp then allows people in the community to go ahead and gain access to this token creation, this pretty advanced token creation that you can architect these types of contracts, and then it's kind of pretty cool. So if you go ahead, put your Ether address in there, and I will assign and I will give you these tokens on Ropsten. So let us know when you go ahead and do that. So otherwise, in Thiago, if you want to put yours, if a couple other people want to put theirs, then we will start assigning these to every single person who goes ahead and puts their address on there. Okay. Here we go. So this is next level. Let me give you 12,000. Okay. Your time and ID 3. Let's allocate. Thiago, you're going to get a press OK. You could see right here, you're going to be able to see it's going to show under transaction history. Once it does show up, once they do get mined, then it is going to show under there. Okay, so just FYI, that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be showing, but it is still taking a few seconds. Hopefully, it's going to be pretty soon that it's gonna show up on there. Let me go ahead. Let me just double check this quickly. Okay. Just give me 1 second. All right, let me just do this real quick, just so I can double check this. Okay, Brendan, thank you for your address as well. Thank you for that. That's going to be helpful. I will put that in there in a few seconds as well. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's check this out. And I know the network has still been relatively slow. So, and you guys may have experienced it. All right. You guys may have experienced it as well over the past couple of days regarding that. So I'm just waiting for these to go ahead and get mined, and then once they do, I will assign those to additional people so that we can kind of show you how this works. Okay, so let me go ahead. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and assign the next ones here, and I'll allocate them. Okay, 1 second, and then eventually it should show up in that history. So Lucas, let me get you next. Let's give you 3 ETH worth, which is 18,000. ID 4, allocate, okay, submit, time and allocated, fantastic. Okay, Brendan, here you go, this is yours, this is your address, number of tokens, let's do 4 ETH worth, so that's 24,000, that should be number 5, allocate, okay, submit, okay, thank you, Lowell. Let me go ahead, put your address in there. Let's give you 6, that's 36,000. Which number? Let me see. Let me see. That should be, let me see, 1, 1, 2, 3. I think this is number 6, if I'm correct. Okay, let's do number 7. Okay, Cristiano, you get number 7. Okay, you get 1 ETH worth, which is 6,000. Here you go, allocate, fantastic, submit, allocated, bow short, okay, let me get yours, you're gonna get number 8, 2 ETH worth, which is 12,000, okay, number 8, allocate, and this is kind of how it's done. Remember, when this is gonna be live later, not on testnet, all of this, you see, why is it popping up? It's because all of this costs gas. Okay, so understand that all of these things do cost gas, and it's important to know, because sometimes people don't understand that, but they do all cost gas, and so it's not that, especially when it's going to be on live on testnet, live on the regular Ethereum network, that you don't necessarily want to be playing around with this. You want to be playing around with this on testnet, but you don't necessarily want to be playing around with this outside of testnet, just for kind of kicks, so just wanted to kind of mention that to everyone on here. Okay. Let me go ahead and let's do this. Okay, this should be hopefully fine. Time and allocated, perfect. So regarding this transaction history, it will eventually show up once these do get allocated, but it is being slightly slower than usual. Here you do have the deployment code, you do have the contract ABI, and you will then see in one of your addresses later on, you will be able to see everything. Okay, and right here, check this out as well, is you can see that, let me go ahead. Okay, check this out. So, right, this went to, I think this was Fabio's address. So if you check the contract address, then you will see that these have been assigned, even though they're not, the data hasn't been just fetched yet, but you will see that they have been assigned to everyone as well. So, and then you can click on the specific transaction hash, and there you see that it's been assigned to Fabio's address. And if I check Fabio's address, look, check this out. He has a token balance of 18,000. And then we can do, then we could do a few more things later on, and we can even release the tokens. After you release them, you won't be able to allocate anymore, but go ahead and feel free. MetaMask is going to show up again. Okay. And then we will be able to, let me go ahead, let me just double check that this is working. And I do believe that they should be released. And if you see, there is a new transaction here at the contract, okay? And that is the release token function that has been submitted there. And you can, if you want to check out the transaction hash, I'm going to show it and send it to everyone on here. And perfect. Okay. So before we continue, I want to open this up for a few questions. Does anyone have any questions? Stan said, "Will I see this in MetaMask?" Go to Etherscan if you want to go ahead and check this out. Next level, I did send out the token address. Okay, hopefully that helps. Kieran, apologies that your audio wasn't working. Hopefully that's okay. And then I kind of want to show you a few other things. All right. Check this out. Do you remember how much I assigned to Enrique? Do you remember how much we assigned to Enrique? Let me see. How much in SND tokens? If anyone guesses it, then, or Enrique yourself, if you can guess it, then put it in there. It was 18,000. Okay, it was 18,000 worth of tokens. Now, how many does he have at his address right now? How many does he have there at his address? Okay. Let's see. I want to see how many tokens does anyone know? And it is, okay. It is, and I randomly assign tokens to people, so don't worry, Stan. Apologies, you might have less. It's more. And the reason that this address has more is why. Remember, how long did I set the minting period to? It was 30 seconds, right? And since I believe, or 60 seconds, I think it was 30 seconds. And since we set the minting period so short, that means that everything now, the balance increases as well. The additional tokens get generated much faster. And that's kind of why I wanted to show you specifically this example, and it's gonna continue like that. Okay, so you can continue refreshing it, and you'll see how the token balance starts increasing. And so what we're doing right now, we're testing, we're continually improving everything, and then later on we do want to go live with this on the Ethereum network, so that everyone on here for 100 day, you can go ahead and gain access to this and deploy your own contract and assign it. Maybe it's to your friends, maybe it's to colleagues, maybe it's to your team, maybe it's the token that's going to be powering your company, whatever it may be, but you can create it and then you can start assigning it. Okay. And you can and you'll gain access to this via the token, because the token is going to power power this, and is going to be the token of the Chronos app, so that again that is the way that people are going to use this. Yes, the gas used is quite a bit, and Next Level, happy as well to have you back. Next Level, hopefully you saw some of the Ethereum alarm clock stuff. I know you're a developer. If you want to contribute to any of that, would be would be more than happy to have you a part of that. Regardless, the next thing that I wanted to go ahead and go over, Brendan said that this is very cool, and thank you. Appreciate it. We've been working very hard at this to go ahead and to make it happen. Is the faucet, okay? So the team went ahead and fixed up the faucet, so you can now access it, okay? And so I'm going to do that right now. Let me go ahead, let me open up an incognito window. Okay, is everyone here right now? Let me go ahead, let me go to an account that doesn't have any tokens. Can everyone go here? I want to show you how this faucet works so that you can play around with this. Okay, give me a 1 if you're here at the alpha site. Give me a quick 1 into the question box. Okay, fantastic. Kieran said yes. Everyone, Stan, Lowell, Neil, Brendan. Okay, fantastic. So go ahead and press OK. And next thing, Caesar as well. Okay, and when you press start now, it's gonna say to reserve those tokens. Okay, and the thing is, I'm not gonna have enough, so it's gonna start. It shouldn't, or maybe I do. I don't know if I clicked the faucet. Oh, I did click the faucet on this one. Oh no. Okay, let me find another account where I don't have any tokens. Okay, this one should be the one. Okay, let me walk you through this whole thing. Okay, so you click start, insufficient balance, you press OK, then you click get test net tokens, and I do have some Ether there, so I could press submit, or I press buy Ether, and then I need to go to Robson testnet, and that's going to let me request 1 Ether from the faucet, and you see this transaction. And once that happens, I can go back. Okay. And then I can select get testnet tokens again. And first I need to get this Ether there. Let me just make sure that, okay, it's still pending. Let me make sure, because once I do have that, okay, just making sure right here. Okay, it said token faucet request success, and then it allows me to start. And then I can reserve those 100-day tokens. I press submit, press OK. And this is because I think I believe I requested twice by accident. Okay. Let me refresh this. Okay. Should hopefully work. Hopefully it's been confirmed. Submit. Let's see. And we wait, and we wait. And then if it goes through, then it's going to allow, okay. Perfect. Cool. And now I can access it. So the faucet's working now. The faucet's working now. Brendan, just go through it a few times. You might have to refresh, right? Because sometimes it takes a few seconds for the transaction to be mined before you actually get the Ether. Because first you need the testnet Ether, then you need the testnet day. So you need both of those, but eventually you should be able to do that, and it should be up and running and working. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.